We'll start with a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll call the roll. NBC, absent. Carolyn Armstrong.
Here.
John Clyde.
Here.
Nicholas Champa, here. Mayor Kramer.
Here.
Agnes Ulabanya, no. And Iris Kisling,
Here.
yes. And January Adams is also here. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Public Laws 1975, also known as the Sunshine Law. The schedule and notification of this meeting have been provided to the Courier News, the Home News Tribune, and the Franklin Township Clerk. Copies have been posted in the library's vestibule and are also available at the reference desk. Seeing there are no members of the public here, we're going to skip the public portion of the meeting, and I will ask for a motion to accept the minutes of April 26, 2017.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are accepted unanimously. I'd like to ask January for her director's reports.
First, we should look at the financial.
Okay.
Should we be thrilled that... Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the building maintenance and, no, it's on par. It was misreading.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to point out as being unusual in these
No, nothing's
reports?
unusual.
I don't see
Everything's to
anything
be
either.
running along as it pretty much should be.
Okay. And would you...
Oh, no. Sorry. That looks right. I was misreading it. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to talk about your program report?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll tell you that the library's access to Hoopla is going to go live on June 5th. And the staff is going to hold an introductory session that evening for patrons, and they can bring their devices, and staff will show them how to use it. They can check out 5 items a month, and there's a large selection of music, ebooks, audiobooks, movies, TV episodes, comics, and graphic novels.
So just, are you familiar with the sign-up procedure?
Me personally,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Maybe for our next meeting,
You want to?
because this is televised,
Want a
maybe
demo?
someone could give a demo or even a 2 5-minute brief thing so people will learn. Do you have to come in to do it, or can you do it only strictly from home, or you don't know?
I think initially you might want to come in to see how it's done.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, but if we have someone savvy to it,
Oh, yeah.
that would be great.
Or else the savvy person can show me and I'll show you, but
Either way.
I'll make arrangements.
Either way.
Okay. And over the past month, we had 95 programs, and we had 1,963 people coming to the programs. And as I mentioned last time, we now have online user registration, and even though in my monthly report I said there had been 3 users, it's up. And now there's, it's going past 25. So people are finding it and people are using it, which makes us very happy. And I think that's basically it. Oh wait, there's more. That we're getting ready for summer reading, and that's going to start on next month, and around the 15th. And that's it.
Thank you, January. Next item calls for a president's report. Well, I've given out some little pieces of paper here. It occurred to me that upon being sworn in for this office, they asked us to recognize and conform with the Township's Resolution 11-438. So I decided to find out what that is. It's a resolution authorizing policy of electronic communication. I've given you all a copy. You should read it, and it's part of the, it's a requirement of the Sunshine Law. We should try our best to conform to it, but let's not let it impede our work. And it discusses pretty well what we can do and what we can't do. And that's all I have.
That makes me wonder, since I just finished my financial disclosure form, do people on the library board have to do financial
We did it,
disclosure?
yeah.
Yes,
We did that?
yes.
Okay, so I did mine because I'm mayor, I didn't get obviously a second one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Is there any correspondence or communication,
We
Iris?
had a letter that is going to go out to, I think the copy was in your folder, to Damien. On behalf of the Franklin Township Library Board of Trustees, I would like to thank you for your years of service to the board and the community. You were a valuable president of the board as well as an important board member. Your input was always offered in thoughtful and respectful manner. It was a pleasure to serve with you, and the board wishes you every success in your new endeavor.
Thank you.
So January, sign seal.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any other communication that any of the board members have received? Or the director? Seeing none, I'm going to ask, is there any old business?
One very, very, very minor point, probably caused by my handwriting. My email address on the Board of Trustees list, in between John and Clyde, there's a G. John G. Clyde, 55 at
G is
email.
G is in
AOL.
George?
Gerard, actually.
Oh.
But George.
John G. Clyde.
John G. Clyde. Okay, I'll fix
No
that.
periods, no periods, just
No periods.
Yeah.
John G. Clyde,
And the
55 at Gmail.
55. Okay, we'll all copy that. Is there any other old business?
January, did you, I have a note that you were going to talk to the auditors, why that was left out.
It was an oversight, and they apologized for it.
At least they know we know.
Yeah.
That question referred to an error that was found in the audit, which has since been
Rectified.
rectified. Is there any other old business? Seeing none, is there any new business?
I have something,
Okay, January.
and I'm not sure if I should bring this up with the board or with the freeholders. Every year, they have a shredding event, and this year it's going to be on July 8th. And what happens, it's a Saturday, and what happens is traffic backs up on DeMott Lane, and staff and patrons can't get into the library. Because once you're in that line, you're
Okay.
trapped.
Right.
And they close off the back entrance, so it makes the staff late for work, and the patrons don't like it either. So I was wondering if there's anything we could do to help these people out.
I I suppose Mr. Vornlocker would be better suited to do this, but we have the people coming for shredding using the far municipal driveway in and out. So the one near the little schoolhouse
Mhm.
and the animal shelter, they come in and out on that driveway, and library uses the more proximal driveway.
Okay.
That shouldn't impede them in any way, and should give people free flow here.
Is it just a truck that comes and parks?
It's actually, this year it's gonna be 3 trucks.
3 trucks.
And it parks, I guess, back by,
Between
behind.
Villagers and the community center.
Yeah. And it attracts a lot of people.
I've been shredding for months.
Might even be, I don't know if the chief would like this, but you know that parking space for the police, where they park their own cars, not where the police cars are parked.
Right.
There's a dedicated lot. Putting the shredding there would actually be, because otherwise the people will have to cross all the way around. But you know what, I will leave it to Mr. Vornlocker. So what I recommend is you bring this to Mr. Vornlocker's attention, and I bet
Okay.
he can come up with a better
Okay.
plan.
What about the municipal building is closed if it's a Saturday? So that whole back,
Everything's closed except the library.
right, but so that is sort of open over the, I don't know. Do people have to carry what they want shredded?
Out of their car to the
Right, so
shredder.
that's why I never go, because it's easier for me to do it in my own house, little by little, than to carry it to, you know, so that you need to have as little distance from your car.
Oh,
to-
yeah, no, I'm sympathetic to the shredders, but.
Yeah, no, I think they could come up with a plan.
Okay.
No, it's a valid point.
Well, Mr. Vornlocker would probably involve the police department, and if it involves traffic on the property, so
Yep.
it sounds reasonable.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
I would entertain a motion to go into executive session
So moved.
for,
Second,
for the purpose of discussing possible land acquisition.
Guess it's been moved and
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, I declare that we are now in executive session. And it is
is that on?
yes. I will entertain a motion to leave executive session and go back into the regular portion of the meeting.
I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of going to?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. We are now in regular session.
Mr. President, should I make a motion that dealing with the direction we established in executive session? I'll make a motion that the subcommittee in January meet with the appropriate township staff members to determine the procedures for seeking the selection of a architect to develop answers to questions involving the cost of the construction site plan, prep permits, and outfitting the proposed private park library, possibly the environmental study.
Could
if necessary.
you
Yeah, write that
repeat
down.
that?
Sorry.
Or write it down here.
I
Motion
second
to,
it.
here, I'm just gonna play off, directly off Nick's thing. Motion to
Just
meet
write
with
it-
township staff. Okay.
Write it down so January can, doesn't have to go so rapidly. I think it's good policy whenever a motion has more than 4 or 5 words for the motioner to write it down, so make it a little easier on the person taking the minutes.
If you have questions, just call me.
Okay. Okay, January, I'm gonna pass this down to you, but first I'll read it.
Okay.
All right, the motion is to have the subcommittee meet with the township staff and determine appropriate means to select an architect to determine the cost of construction, site preparation, the permits, outfitting, and environmental issues regarding, with regards to the proposed Franklin Park Library. My handwriting is worse than the below average first grader, so I apologize.
Can I tear this out? or-
Sure, go ahead.
or-
Yeah, you can, that's, whose was that?
That's mine.
next.
Tear it.
Yeah, tear it out.
Just tear it out.
Give to
Well, you sure? What's on the other side?
Oh, I don't know. Is there something on the other side?
Keto is,
Yes. Credential? That's all right?
Tear it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll call, if there's a second, we can call the question.
I second.
Okay. And you've read it? So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4 to 0. Should we, it might be noted that Mayor Kramer has left the meeting
6:15.
at
6:15?
about
To
6:15.
attend a food bank.
And that we still have a quorum, so. Okay. Our next meeting will be June 28th. Is there any other business that anyone would like
No,
to bring
Mr.
up?
President, but I will be in Spain on June 28th.
Oh.
Lucky you.
Okay,
Very lucky.
okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
It is 6:20, well, it's not really.
Okay, I think it must be later.
6:25, we're adjourned.
Is this one for the mayor?
No, he took his.
Oh, so.
left me mine.
Oh.
January, this is